Hello and welcome to the Confusion Wrestling Podcast, the last bastion of independent wrestling. I'm your host, Rob Kammer, and this week, first three-time guest coming in the studio to, I would say, round out the new year, but, we're not quite there yet. Got a couple more episodes under the belt, and I'm just plugging along anyway. But Eric Eznite, former SCW Pro Champ, former SCW Pro Tag Team Champion, list of accolades that I don't have sitting right here in front of me, coming back to the studio to kind of update us where he's been. For those of you who are not in the know, I've been riding Eric's coattails since, I call it day 2. It's probably closer to day 3, let's be realistically, because I missed out on his early Texas days. But for me, for quite some time, he was the best part of SCW, him and his faction, The Chosen. Eric, unfortunately for me, we'll say, has relocated to Texas and is getting things set up over there. So he's come by the studio to just kind of give us an update and talk about his how his SCW Pro title reign ended, the fate of The Chosen, what he's up to nowadays, and, just doing what we can to get him up on his feet and getting booked in Texas land. So stay tuned, get through the plugs, skip the next 30 seconds or so, because I'm just going to ask you to get an energy drink or a coffee or a coffee machine, and then we'll come back with Eric Eznite. Hey folks, the Confusion Wrestling Podcast has become a veritable hub of shopping and treats and all that sort of good stuff. Whether you need a sugar-free alternative to energy drinks in the form of Raise Energy, or maybe even, top-of-the-line ice makers, coffee machines, and other household appliances, all through my links section. All you got to do is wander down to the descriptor of this week's episode, check out the various links, click on them, and go shopping like you normally would. Heck, it's no difference. You just came in and just said Rob sent you. And that way, you can get the things you need, maybe even at a discount, and the podcast gets a kickback as well. So be sure to check out those links. Thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, Confusion Wrestling Podcast. As I said at the top of the show, in the studio with me today is the first 3-time guest on the con. He is former SCW Pro Champion, former QC Cup holder, former Tag Team Champion, amongst other independent accolades. He is Eric Eznite. Eric, how are you doing this evening, man?
I'm good. It's cool that I'm the first 3-time guest. I feel like I always have a good time on these podcasts, and I haven't seen you or spoken with you in a while. I'm used to seeing you at least once a month, so this will be cool to catch up and look to the future.
Yep. I can say for the folks that aren't in the know, Eric has relocated, so he's not one of those one of the local boys I can ride the coattails on anymore. Now I got to do strictly online coattail riding.
Every once in a while, we'll see what happens.
Well, it's Prestige Rumble season, so that's the perfect time for
I'm
guest
gonna just
spots.
say straight up.
No, that's not it.
That's rolled out. That's rolled out.
We're drawing the line there already. That's great.
Yeah,
Shattering my hopes and dreams to start.
But yeah, hey, you never know. We'll see.
There's other Prestige Rumbles. 2027. Whatever. It's fine. Even my hated rival, the Cowboy, shows up a couple times a year to make my life miserable.
I hate that dude. Seriously, screw him.
Hey, but as we predicted, and you are prophesized your last visit as SCW Pro Champion, you have a victory over the one called Manders.
I do.
Yeah, it was DQ because he went after the referee. Which, I mean, okay, I can't fault him for that. The refs are notoriously biased, but still, victory over the one called Manders.
You just can't get away with blatantly hitting a referee, and if you can't beat me clean, you can't beat me at all. So that's how I went with that.
Nope. And as promised, I was in the top row screaming my head off the entire bloody time because
yes, you were.
I did, and anyone who follows the socials knows I made it a point to post all the times he took Manders' head off in the process.
Yes,
but kind of rewinding a
bit.
That
was cool, man. That was a cool match, I gotta say. And I want to, like you said, I prophesied it, and we really did. We talked about it on the last podcast, didn't we? Because
Yeah, because
I know that I don't know. I think I had wrestled him at least once before that, but I said I wanted to face him as the champ, and then I faced him as the champ and kept the championship. So that was cool, and I think somehow you had a part in that in some way.
we put it out in the ether that,
Yeah.
and yeah, and a lot of the athletes talk about the crowd support getting behind it, and so you had at least our table up there, cheering for you. So we'll do that.
Yes.
Confusion bump, I sometimes call it, that I stole from Stephen Colbert back in the day when he had his shoot. Now I can't remember what his show before he went over to NBC was. Colbert
Oh,
Report bump. That's it. There we go.
okay.
So for the old people out there that used to watch Colbert before he made it to network television. But yeah, Manders was, you gave a list of people that you wanted to face as champion, and Manders was one of them, and you got to like knock that one off the list. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to the old interview to come on here and see write down
I
everyone you
didn't
did.
either, but I really thought about it like 10, 15 minutes before. I was like, oh, that would have been cool to kind of recap a little bit, but we
And
both thought the same thing, didn't get it done. It's all right.
yeah, I mean, uh, I don't know. Everybody knows how I roll in this podcast. We're
It's all good. It's all good.
I do a modicum of research, and so my research is either way too deep or not deep enough. And so I'm that guy like on January
I
5th.
don't think we've ever not gotten a little bit deep.
Yeah. My problem is like I'll bring up some nerd stuff, and then person is like, I get hit in the head for a living. I don't remember what happened January 5th, 1999 or whatever.
Yeah.
that's that's how I
Luckily, I'm
roll.
not there yet.
Like I don't even, I'm not even a wrestler, and I have those days, so I'm terrified, and I'm touch over
Oh,
40. But anywho, rattling on away. But yeah, so yeah, you had the Manners match, and then actually because of that, you had, we'll say, two Manners matches, because you had the street fights, like I
yeah.
don't, at the end of the show as well, the handicap match
That
at
match
that
shouldn't have
point.
happened. Should have just been done after I kept the belt. There was no need for any other matches that night, but
I didn't think so either, but
I yeah. I don't look back on that match fondly.
but Wildwood wasn't the only place. My modicum of research, or KA just remembering things, I wasn't the only Wildwood highlight, because at that point, months later, you expanded the Chosen at Wildwood,
Yes.
adding Casey Jacks to the lineup as well. He's kind of a blue chipper prospect in SCW Pro, despite being a multi tag team champion at this point. How did Casey kind of come into the fold?
I have wrestled him over the years at SCW. We've ridden in the car together to other independent promotions. I know Casey. We've had some. Whenever you ride with somebody in the car for hours, you just talk about stuff and you get to know people. And he felt like the right fit, and he ticked the boxes in the ring. Unfortunately, things ended how they ended, and he's already realigned. That doesn't make me feel good, but he served his purpose, I guess. I guess. I mean, everything fell apart after he joined, but I don't know. Maybe there is, I don't know, unfinished business there one day of
Yeah.
Casey Jacks not living up to what I wanted him to.
That's the way to look at it. Like at a certain level, like I felt bad for him because he just like showed up. He just like he totally reinvented himself. Gone was all the blue stuff, and got new gear and became
I'm
hollow.
pretty persuasive.
And then like immediately after that, the Chosen was screwed over and forced to disband. So like he did all this work on himself just to be cast aside by SCW
Yeah.
management. Like so,
But what's cool is there was so many different iterations of the Chosen. You look back over the years, and the group changed and fluctuated several times, and it's a it's a cool history. When you go back and watch it, it's it's fun to watch for me. Um, I have been posting a lot of new footage on my YouTube channel that has basically made me take a walk down memory lane recently, and I've seen the evolution of my career. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, and anyone who listens to the old episodes, like we can touch base on, but yeah, you've had some like even just in the area, not counting the work you've done with like Destination Six or 3XW or Ring of Honor, like you've had some like you've evolved kind of since then, and even like seeing the company you've kept because over the years like Malik has left and come back. You had Garot, which granted his departure wasn't really his decision per se, or any of our
No,
decisions.
no,
That was poor guy.
wow,
Without pulling back the curtain on him too much, but like yeah, and
yeah,
again, add Malik's return, adding Augustus Draven, add some added muscle, and he's a really good brain when I've talked to him. And then finally, Shug, which we can talk in more detail here in a minute.
yeah.
And then Casey Jacks at the end, like it's the kind of the ending there, like you've kind of come a long ways from where you started, and a lot of the twists and turns of success and tragedy in the meanwhile.
Emphasis on tragedy.
I blame Shane Hollister for all of it, for all of your life's problems, even from a distance. I blame Shane Hollister
Yeah, yeah.
smacking breaking your ear, and costing you the championship, and then ultimately forcing the Chosen out of SCW Pro. And we've touched on him because like even like your career has almost always revolved around him in some way, shape, or form, but it really kind of came to a head in the past year. So do you want to kind of update the crowd who haven't been able to see you since then?
Update on what
Oh,
part exactly?
sorry, just kind of give talk about Shane Hollister and kind of like how he's continued to be a thorn in your side, like even
You
since our
know,
last episode, our last interview.
it's crazy. I think I've had to have wrestled him like between like 10 and 20 times, maybe more, in the last since the summer of 2022. So we're in December 2025. So in the last 3.5 years, we have to have had wrestled. Dude, it's got to be 20 plus. I gotta say, it's got to be 20 plus. And man, the hate just kept building and building and building and building, and I I had it all under control, and then before I knew it, it all just came crashing down, and I've stepped away from it for now, from being within driving distance of SCW, so I can look at it from a different perspective now. But yeah, I don't have any good feelings towards him. I've most of my SCW career, and I mean I've wrestled in other places too: AAW, Chicago, Iowa, Illinois. You know, we just I don't have anything good to say about him.
I don't imagine so because he was the final nail of the coffin for the Chosen with that stipulation. Was that July this past year? Time means nothing for me.
This which one?
Oh, or the
There was a series of matches that just
oh
got
yeah.
worse and worse for me.
Oh yeah, because he cost you the title, but the last match you
Yeah,
guys had resulted and the Chosen being disbanded as part of
that would
the
have been in
stipulation.
July or June. Yeah,
Yeah, because you had like two or three, like almost in a row, not quite, uh,
yeah.
but so I have to ask, like the Chosen as a unit, despite its fluctuating membership, like how did that feel to have that be
Power.
taken away from you?
Oh man. The thing is, at first it stung like a lot because I was comfortable, um, comfortable. But as you saw in October, everyone thought they'd never see me again after August. 10th, and what I had said about SCW Pro and how Malik and I left. But I came back to everybody's surprise about 2 months later, and you know, I came back, and I honestly I gotta ask what the original question was. I was making a point and I forgot what it was.
Oh, like how did it, how did it feel to have the Chosen kind of just ripped away from you after it's been
When
like
I came
so long?
back, I didn't have the Chosen in October at Wicked Ways, and it felt good and it felt refreshing not having to rely on anyone and just doing it all by myself and doing all of the work and the hustle by myself, honestly. Um, and I'm looking forward to more of that. You know, I loved these last couple of years at Black and Brave and SCW, but I the Chosen, it's done in SCW, yes, but I think just that version of Eric Eznite and the Chosen Eric Eznite as he was in Iowa and the Midwest and that whole scene and just the Chosen as a unit, I think yes, it's done in SCW, but that version is just done. You know, like I don't I that version of America's Night is gone, and I have to evolve now. And as I came back, in October, if you didn't notice, I didn't come out with my typical, attire. I didn't come out with what I usually come out with. I didn't come out with the staff. My gear was a little bit tweaked, but all that to say, I'm evolving now, and I don't really need anybody at this point, and I can look back and see the flaws in the chosen Eric Cousin. I'll defend myself and defend my viewpoint, but I'll defend my decisions at the time. But I can also look back and see where I made mistakes along the way in the last couple of years in SCW and other promotions, and how it led to what it led to. But I'm ready for what's next, and it's going to be different than what's been done before.
And you've gotten a just, I mean, probably not the way that you'd wanted it, but you've gotten the opportunity now to kind of force that evolution with the Chosen being disbanded, and now you've moved from the Midwest to Texas, so you've
Yes,
gotten you have a whole new fresh start in front of you. So
true.
knocking on wood, and I'm really excited to kind of see what comes next on that front.
Me too.
Um, because I mean, I don't get me wrong, I'm not as not as fluent with the Texas independent scene, but I know that it's killer right now.
Well, if you follow me, you'll be updated on
Oh
it.
yeah, no, and I still follow the socials and kind of talked about the socials, and then by proxy, kind of like indirectly referenced it by talk. We referenced it, and you've also noted seeing kind of the flaw. We'll call it the flaws of the last years, and kind of like the ways that you might have needed to tweak in ring and whatnot. But you've upped the YouTube game as well, so like you've compared to a lot of guys that I do follow online, like you're killing it on the YouTube front. Like, so dare I ask, what kind of like what brought that on, and the renewed focus on, say, like the YouTube?
Well, the truth is, um, I never really did push my YouTube to its fullest potential. Um, there's just so many clips on my phone that I guess at some point, this wasn't maybe the right way to think about it, but at some point, on Instagram and Facebook and X, a daily post is good. Like, even if you get 4 or 5 posts a week, you want to have that content put out there as a professional wrestler in 2025. You need a social media and you need to post your content to get bookings, to show that you're experienced, blah blah blah. Well, uh I was always good about clipping out my matches after I would wrestle, and I was always really good about recording my matches because sometimes different promotions, different promoters, you won't ever see your match footage ever if you just rely on their footage, or you might not see it till a year later. It's just unreliable. Take your own phone, independent wrestlers. Take my advice. Take your own phone, record your matches, post them on YouTube. If you're not comfortable posting them public yet, you can always post them on unlisted, but then you've always got your match footage and you don't have to rely on anyone. It's always great to have that to reference to show, this is what I do. This is um, my profession, and I have all the footage for it, all of it. So, um, but another thing is, you pretty much have to pay for any and all wrestling these days. WWE, independent promotions, they'll post a handful of free matches every once in a while. But other than that, you gotta have Netflix, cable, ESPN, HBO Max, TNT. You gotta have something. You gotta pay for something to watch wrestling these days. But um, here is an instance where 90% of my matches of my whole career is you don't have to pay for them at the moment.
And might I add, an underutilized thought is the on the greed factor. It's an possibly underutilized revenue stream as well, because once you hit certain thresholds, YouTube,
Exactly, and that's what I'm
if
pushing
you
for. I'm kind of on my climb, and I'm on track to hopefully turn that into a little bit of a revenue somehow, some way. Which is cool.
uh,
Taking what I've been doing these last 7 years and just basically showing people, it's cool seeing how many people are interacting with it and enjoying it. Because a lot of people just in the world just haven't seen me and seen what I can do. So um, to have like the numbers of um, that I'm getting right now is cool, and I feel confident that one day maybe I get a little bit of monetization, a little bit.
or I say good luck to you. And, I mean, not that okay. I guess technically this podcast ends up on YouTube, but it's not. It's to put myself down, be self depreciating about it. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'd use YouTube to watch this podcast because it's not good on the visual front, but
Fair enough.
also it's also not professional wrestling. So
True.
but it's a lot of hard work, kind of like getting to this step of things. So like, I'm knocking on wood, hoping for the best on that front, because realistically speaking, in the world of independent wrestling, as many avenues of revenue you can
Definitely,
have, like
you're totally right.
the better.
Because the only person that's gonna really be in charge of you know how much money I bring in is me, and how many um, ways I have to make money. So that's another way to do that, and it's two birds with one stone because people are seeing me that have never seen me before, and people from all kinds of different places are seeing me, and I'm not only building a local fan base, but I'm building more and more of a international, global fan base. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just to pull back the curtain for our social media antics, like even like today, like somebody like online like found an old video that I took. Well, it's not that old, I guess. It's been October-ish, from
Yeah,
Wicked Ways of you dropping Drake Holloway on his head, and some guy's just like,
Fraser's
I want to
dead.
see the full. I want to see the full match. Like I cannot. And
Yes.
then like I saw he was asking if he could do some edits on it too, and I wasn't
Yeah,
gonna say
no,
it
that was
because like
cool.
this is just my phone. That was just my phone stuff. Like, and
Right.
it's your match, not mine.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not gonna give guys permission to make edits of not my matches.
No, it's cool too.
But
Like I've had several fans make me a graphic. I've had several fans make me highlights, edits. It's cool. Like I'll never say no to that. Like I recorded it. If you want to make something cool out of it, fan edits are always cool. Um, but yeah, no, it's cool to um have people that see my Instagram, see my Facebook, see my X. They see all the highlights from the matches. They see what happens at the shows. But a lot of people really want to know, like, where can I watch the full match? I don't post full matches on Instagram. It's just it's not fit for that app. Facebook, on YouTube, you get the full experience of you get to witness everything. It's not just a little snippet of the highlights. You can see everything. So um happy to offer that now.
Yeah. No, it's about the only one of the few we'll call it mainstream social medias that specialize in the long form videos, because even I mean
Yep.
you can kind of get away with some of that stuff on like Facebook,
You
and
can,
but it's not always convenient on Facebook
not
either.
everyone
You're
wants to
like,
do
let's
that. Most people are
yeah,
just scrolling. They only want to engage for 5 or 10 seconds. So a
yeah,
20-minute wrestling match, they're just gonna scroll past it 9 times out of 10 on
yeah.
on
I
on on those platforms.
Oh yeah, yeah. As someone who consumes, according to the wife, way too much wrestling, I don't. I use Facebook or the other socials to keep tabs on everyone. But like if I'm watching
Yes.
matches, I'm either on one of the streaming services or I'm on YouTube.
The truth
And
is, I mean, the truth just is, like, if you're a wrestling fan, you want to watch wrestling matches. Like, wrestling highlights are cool, but if you're a wrestling fan, you want to watch wrestling matches and you want to see the storylines play out all the way, not just highlights or clips. So, um, I know a lot of people have been asking about it and are excited about it. So am I. I'm happy with uh that.
yeah. Oh, and like in the case, it's great because we get to see that evolution of Eric Eznite, and
Yes.
we've gotten to see, and actually like and I'll bring it up real quick just because it popped me out. We haven't talked about it, but like some of them will call like the rarities that the what ifs, but the Sunshine Society with
Oh yeah.
Knight Wagner too,
Yes.
like that
I
was
posted that on there, yes.
like it's one of those things like once I don't know. Like I'm a nerd, so like once maybe every 6 months, like I stop and think about it, like, oh yeah, there's a Sunshine Society, and that looked fun because Knight Wagner never ceases to entertain me when he talks, and then of course having my boys back him up on that was going to be great, and I'm just disappointed we didn't get to see more of that. As much as I'm a fan of the Chosen, just seeing where Knight Wagner plus the Chosen could have gone.
That is definitely as of now, it's a one of those what ifs. Um, it's a cool idea. It's a creative idea. We haven't seen it in its full evolution. We haven't seen it really
I mean, at all,
at all,
frankly.
other than just a little 1 minute clip. So there were companies that were pitched the idea, and there were plans for one or two or three different companies, and they just never played out in real life. Whether it be due to weather circumstances or just um, companies just ghosting and not following through with what they said they wanted to do. So um, I would be open to it. I really would if it made sense and if um, we could all three do it.
Yeah, but it's just one of the little things. Cause like I thought it was really interesting, especially just in the case like seeing who the actors were, because it was different than what all of
You
you
know
were
what was
doing at the various times.
the vibe I got from it was a lot of different things, but the main one was because I grew up watching the show Veggie Tales, and it was just that's just so funny to me.
I enjoyed it just because it was so different from like what you all do, and like
Mhm.
different than anything like Knight's done. As someone who's watched Knight,
Yeah,
aging myself and him, for nearly 20 years,
it really
and
is one of those things too where I was excited to do that variation of Eric as Knight. I was because again I don't have any regrets. I have enjoyed what I've done in independent wrestling, and it's led me to some cool places. But I was, I wanted to see what it would be like to do something different. I wanted to try a little bit of variety, even if it was in almost the same. I don't want to say genre, but if it was still culty, I'll just say, um, it was cool. I was like looking forward to delving and diving into that. and I would be open to something like that. As of now, I'm kind of distancing myself from that a little bit. And where I show up next, I might not be a version of the chosen Eric Esna. I might be something completely different. We'll see.
We shall see. As we've said a couple times, like wrestling, wrestling needs evolution, and you don't want to be one of those, especially at your age. You don't want to be one of those guys who's just kind of riding on coattails on the same idea that that you've had to rehash or come about for the last X number of years, because lest you be like some people that I won't name at the moment, who I make fun of for not being interesting since 2019 or whatnot. Um, but as I said, like I'm excited to kind of see where this next step takes you, and kind of just seeing and excited to see where what the Dust Bowl area brings for Eric Eznite as well. Because as I said,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff going on that way. But kind of like also kind of continuing on with the kind of like some of your other endeavors.
Yes.
We talked about social media quite a bit, but we've not touched on the Eric Eznite fitness portion of things, because you also do post a lot of workout. I mean, not
Yeah.
necessarily like how tos, but like just showing off, the work ethic of Eric Esnite, and by proxy, you have thrown up there, your um, yeah, words are tough right now for whatever reason. Um, Personal training. There we go. Personal personal training endeavors with
Yes.
Eric Esnite Fitness. So, um, and before we got on the air, you mentioned that you were going online with this endeavor
Yeah.
as well, instead of just doing in-person personal training. So you want to give
Yeah. So I've
people
been
kind of
I've
a
been I've been doing that for a little while. With the online, I have a select few clients. But I'm looking to build it. And basically, my philosophy is that I want to help people improve their lives and health through fitness. Normal people, wrestlers, people from all different walks of life, through functional strength training, which is just everyday movements and lifts that you have to do every day in everyday life. Sitting down, standing up, picking things up off the ground, putting things overhead on the top shelf, pulling something on the cabinet towards you. These are all, you know, movements that can be translated in the gym and trained, and so that you keep that strength and mobility, like a deadlift, squat, overhead press, row. Um, so I'm all about helping everyone at every level where they're at. I've been doing the personal training almost as long as I've been doing the wrestling. I have been doing the wrestling for 7 years and the personal training for 6 years. At this point in this is a shoot. Like I don't lie about my statistics. I've at this point helped hundreds of clients with goals, whether it's muscle building, weight loss, preparing for an athletic event, rehabbing from injury. Uh, but as far as virtual personal training, it would just be like over a video chat, and I would demo the exercises and provide the workout program to you, and you would get your weekly progressions based on what your goals are. Um, I do have a lot of my fitness content posted on my social medias. Some of it's clients, some of it's clients' transformations, some of it's client testimonials, some of it's just me lifting, showing my credibility that I in fact do lift as well. I do have the work ethic that Rob is referencing most of the time, and I, uh, I do try to basically have those videos on there too for my virtual clients. So if I'm sending a client, let's say we can't actually video chat that day, they get busy. They're like, just send me the workout and I'll do it myself. I have these videos of myself doing a shoulder press, doing a push up, doing a version of an incline press. I can just send them the video so that they have something to go off of, a demo. Um, there's a lot of different reasons why I'm using the YouTube and trying to get views from people that haven't seen me before. So um, Anyways, thanks for the shout out on that, Rob. If you're interested at all in any level of accountability for personal training, whether that's meeting once a week over video chat, twice a week, 3 times a week, or not meeting over video chat every week, but maybe once a month, and I send you your workout program. Um, I can do that as well online. I know Rob has a lot of people that watch in Iowa, Illinois, Midwest, so we can still make it work. I know I'm in Texas, but we can still make it work. And even if we're in, someone's watching who's a Texas viewer, if we aren't able to meet in person, here's your way to make it happen. And I would I'm sure that you would be pleased with what I have to offer. So Eric Eznite, personal training, fitness. On Instagram, it is Eric Fitness and Nutrition. My email is ericfitness nutrition at gmail.com for any inquiries, or you can DM my Instagram. I'm also Eric Miller on Facebook, or through the YouTube, you can see some of my own lifting on Eric Esnite Pro Wrestling and Fitness.
There we go. And just other like cheap plug. Correct me, but you were on channel, was it channel 6 that you got to do a demo?
KWQC?
Yeah. For I know
Yeah,
you did with Merrick for wrestling, but you also got to plug. You
I
also got to
did
do a separate thing
for the
for
fitness.
fitness.
Yeah, that was cool. I got to be on TV twice when I lived in the Quad Cities. Once for wrestling and once for fitness. The two things that I, predominantly did there. So that was cool. I really feel like I got to take advantage of the time when I was living in Iowa. I feel like I don't have any thing where I was like, oh man, I wish I would have done that. I really did it any and everything that I wanted to do. And that interview, both the fitness one and the wrestling one with Merrick Brave, where we talk about the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, um, it's on my YouTube. There's clips of the interviews and there's also the full interviews. So if you're interested in that, that was a really cool conversation to have, and again, another opportunity to speak to and be seen by a completely different audience that I haven't been exposed to before.
No, no, it was. I mean, it was great just to see. I consider it local boy makes good kind of things, even if it was local television. Just like
Yeah.
I haven't been on WQC TV yet, and I've done all sorts of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Uh, but on that note, just we'll kind of go ahead and wind things down a wee bit because we've been talking for quite some time. Is there any of the socials that we haven't plugged on here yet, just so we can send people those ways too?
I'll just go over all of them on
Yeah, just go. If not,
X.
just redo it.
Yeah, on X, on Threads, and on Instagram, it's all the same. It's at Eric Esnite, no spaces. It's EricEznite. And then on YouTube, it's Eric Esnite Pro Wrestling and Fitness. On Facebook, it's just at Eric Space Esnite. I do also have my fitness accounts, which would be Instagram, Eric Fitness, uh, Nutrition, or it might be Eric Fitness and Nutrition. Now I'm doubting myself. But on Facebook, it's at Eric Miller. I know there's going to be a lot of Eric Millers, though. So you might be more lucky to find my Instagram first and then follow that to my Facebook because they are linked. Um, and I do still have, I'm out, completely sold out of my white um, chosen shirts. However, I do still have my two black shirts available. Again, I've been saying this last couple times I've sold them. I will not be making any more of these. I'm in the middle of evolution. Um, so these will not be available once they're gone. So this is my fitness shirt for my personal training, and this is my Epiphany professional wrestling shirt. So those are available. I did mark them down to just 20. And then you would cover shipping, but there's when they're gone, they're gone. Rob, which one do you have? You have the white one, right?
I have the chosen. Yep.
Yeah. So he's got the one that's never going to be sold ever again already.
And
So
I've been petitioning for another run of the Epiphany shirts
I know,
for
man.
just as long. Like I have finally kind of shut up on it, and then Don picked it up and like go talk to him about it. No, he said no. No means no. I'm enough of a nuisance that like at this point I feel like
Dude,
if you had another like print run of them, you would be like I would be the first person
dude,
you
I would let you know for
tell.
sure. And
Like,
I definitely I want to keep the design. If there's ever a time to rerun it, like say I show up for one or two shows in SCW in like a year or something, and I I think I'm gonna sell a couple. Maybe I'll make like two of each size or one of each size or something like that. Well, we'll see. I know it's got that nostalgia factor at this point for me. I've had it for a while. This has been my shirt design for quite some time, probably 2-3 years, and I'm proud to say I designed it myself. I don't do any of that AI bullshit that I know that some of my um, other independent wrestlers are doing right now. But these shirts are fully designed by me, and I'm proud to say that. However, again, we're in an evolution, and I'll have new shirts soon.
we'll keep an eye on it, and I'll try to make it a point to like hunt down each of the socials and try to throw that in the descriptor too, so that way there's just like a handy dandy repository for whichever social media people are wanting on. But that being said, uh, good luck on the next stage of that evolution. Now I won't be physically front row, but at least online I'll be front row for that when that day comes. But thank you for dropping by once again and kind of giving us an update on everything that's happened in the last year since you've been on.
Yeah, yeah. This is part 3. I'm the only 3-time champ on here, so whenever someone comes trying to take my crown, let me know, and I'll come on a 4th time.
There you go. I tell everyone like if they just want to do just a 2-minute 2-minute or less promo, I'll sneak it in. I don't care. I'm not I'm fully independent, so I'm not even beholden to real sponsors, so I can make as many
Right.
people angry as I want.
Yep.
And Lord knows I've shot my mouth off enough times in various forms to do it. But that being said, thank you for popping on again, and we'll wait for number 4 to come on. When we get some Texas experience under your belt and get that next evolution going.
Yes, sir.
The Confusion Wrestling Podcast is a weekly podcast that is written and performed by Rob Kammer and hosted by Spotify for podcasters. The background music for this section is Ruined by Day, performed by Alan Schroeder. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to help support, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, family, and enemies. Leaving a review is helpful as well, because word-of-mouth advertisement is very important for us small podcasts. My social media links can be found in the description, but Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky are at The Nova of Cass. That's TheNovaofCass, and Facebook is MLW Confusion, all one word. If you'd like to support monetarily and help upgrade my equipment, please check out my virtual tip jar at ko-fi.com/Casanova, or if you prefer more bang for your buck, go to patreon.com/Casanova, that's CASSONOVA, where for as little as $2, backers get access to the podcast early and without those pesky ads, plus other exclusive content. So join the crew that is headed up by Keith Wynn, Alan Schroeder, Chris Zach, and Elenia, and check it out. You can also find t-shirts, coffee mugs, and other merch at the Confusion Podcast store on Teespring. Also, be sure to check out the affiliate links in the description below. For business inquiries such as ads, sponsorships, and etc., please email rzkamer, Kamerer, at comcast.net. Thank you all for listening.